Hi guys, today I want to talk about how we got pregnant. I know so many couples struggle with infertility and are ashamed to talk about it, and I went back and forth whether I was going to talk about it, and I think that a lot of people can benefit from hearing each other's stories, so I wanted to share ours. Nathan and I had tried to get pregnant for a couple years. We weren't consciously trying that whole time. It was kind of just more of, if it happens, great, we're excited. If not, that's okay. But then for about 6 months to a year, we were really trying, and we started to get really stressed out because it wasn't happening. We didn't know who was to blame, and then we started, feeling really guilty and so pressured that we couldn't do this basic, task of having sex and get pregnant. So sex started to become really stressful, and we weren't really enjoying it. So I decided to do a little research and contact a doctor that was from Boston who had an office in New Hampshire, not far from where we live. So we had a consultation with her, and she said that she thought she could help us, and we would each have to go through some tests just to see where Nathan's sperm counts were, and if I was healthy enough to have procedures done. So I went to the hospital and had a couple different procedures. One, they blew up like basically a balloon inside my uterus, which was so uncomfortable and felt similar to contractions, but they inserted a dye too, and they wanted to just to make sure that I had a healthy cervix and that my tubes were open and a healthy uterus. So that test went well. The results went back to her, and then her and I discussed having an IUI, which is an intrauterine insemination. And this is different. This is like a step down from having IVF, which is in vitro fertilization. IUI is when they take the sperm, they wash it, pick out the good sperm, take off the unhealthy sperm, and after an hour you come back and then they insert the sperm into your cervix, basically through a catheter. It's like a long tube. And so they did that in, I want to say that was February. We had our first IUI procedure, and I had been taking Clomid cycle days 5 through 9, and then I was using the little ovulation predictor kit, and once I got the smiley face on the predictor kit, I had to call them, and they said, okay, come in, no matter if it was the weekend, because there was somebody on call that would do the procedure. So I went and had the first one done. I was feeling so confident. I'm like, I know this is it, we're pregnant. And I was watching a National Geographic documentary about how the baby develops, and then I wasn't getting my period, and I was just so sure I was pregnant. And then a few days later, I got my period. So I had to call them and tell them I just got my period. So they were like, okay, well, we'll try again next month. So the next month we tried again. And I remember being in the office and laying on the bed. The nurse was telling me, just relax. You have to be really calm and just know that it's going to work. And the difference that time was that I really just got inside my own head, and I just pictured everything being a success. I pictured myself laying on the table and the sperm traveling in my body and just thinking really happy thoughts. And that time Nathan's sperm count was only 2 million, and she had said to me, if you didn't have insurance, I would have suggested not doing this. But I was like, no, I want to do it. I feel really confident, so we did it. And 2 weeks later, which was like the longest 2 weeks ever, I got a positive pregnancy test, and then I went back to that doctor, and she confirmed our pregnancy. And then for the next 3 days I had to get blood drawn every single day just to confirm that my hormones were at the levels that they should be, and increasing. The first day I think they double, and then they increase again. So everything was looking really, really great. But I was worried during that IUI procedure the second time that it wasn't going to take, and I was already thinking, this was after I had the procedure, that okay, we have one more shot, and then that's when they just start discussing other options with you. After 3 IUIs, then they start talking about IVF and if you want to continue. But during our initial testing, all the tests we had to go through, I found out I was a carrier of cystic fibrosis, which is my understanding that is very common in women. I believe it's 1 in 4 women are carriers. And as long as Nathan wasn't a carrier, then they would still go ahead and do the IUI. But if he was a carrier, then we would have to go through genetic counseling and talk about, you know, how the baby was at risk for having cystic fibrosis. So I felt so devastated again. But Nathan got his blood work done, and it turned out that he wasn't a carrier of it. So there were just so many ups and downs, and just infertility sucks. Just the whole battle. You think, you know, you're put here, you know, and it's a basic, you know, it's a basic right to be able to make children and have children, and I felt like such a failure because I'm like, I'm a woman and this is what, you know, my body is designed for. I'm designed to be a mother, and I'm designed to carry a baby, and I can't do it. And I just, all the guilt and the feelings associated with that, I really don't wish on anyone. And if you're going through that, I know what it feels like, and just stay positive, because you will find a way that works. And you know, there are other options, even though the worst thing you could hear is somebody says, you know, it'll happen when it's the right time. And I was just so sick of hearing people say that, you know, because it was the right time for me. I was ready to be a mom. But, you know, it will happen. And if you have a good doctor supporting you and you have a good support system, that's what really matters, because you'll find a way to get through it. You are strong, and everything has a way of working out, and it's worked out great for us. And this is the way we have to get pregnant. We can't, you know, we can't get pregnant through the traditional means, and that's okay, because we still have a beautiful, healthy baby girl. And we plan in December to go through this process again, and we're hoping that it works on the first try, but it may not, and that's okay. So I hope this video was a good explanation for you guys, and I hope that if you're struggling with infertility, that you have a good support system. I've been there. So many other people have been there, whether they admit it or not. And I wish you the best of luck. And thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.